to start the recording here, and then I will be just a minute or so. I'm looking for something to talk about, and then also for YouTube's sake, yes, I have I lost my voice, so yeah.
No, no worries. Yeah, no, I mean, you're not going to struggle to find things to talk about that I'm doing wrong, I don't think, I'm afraid. Probably not quite the skill level you used to coaching here, sorry.
Nope, I'm very used to coaching the skill level. Oh, very nice. Okay, probably just recommend popping Sonic in there off of cooldown. It's pretty much just an ability you want to get in there doing things so you can get value out of it. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not better or worse times to use it, but you still, like, when you're in a fight, you generally just want to get
Yeah,
it in off a cooldown, whereas we kind of held on to it till the very end there.
okay.
When you're low, request healing. That'll get your supports to look at you faster. It'll let them know where you are and whatnot. And then do know that the longer topics I will be kind of stacking up to go over after
Yeah,
your game is over. Alright, so we'll go over positioning stuff and then also
yeah,
crosshair placement after we're done. And then, yeah, because those are longer topics, we can't really go over
yeah.
very easily here while you're in the
Like,
middle of a game.
game.
Alright, and then we will also be covering some awareness topics. Maybe we can go over that really quickly while you in
Yeah,
between the rounds here.
yeah. I've man, I've got quite a bit I need to go through.
all,
Sorry.
all good. That's, I mean, I talk continuously for pretty much everybody. Just a little bit more when you're working with a lower rank.
Yeah. Oh my god, play. For the life of me, I cannot hit this Farah.
Alright, so round seems to be ending
Just
here,
about over.
so I'll start going over
Okay.
it. So, when it comes to how do you tell whether or not you've won or lost a fight, this primarily comes down to watching kill feed. When you are up or down, 1 to 2 people, that is an advantage or a disadvantage.
Yeah,
When you are up or down 2 to 3 people, then that's a won or lost fight. In which case, right, when you're at an advantage, you're winning, right? You get more aggressive. You're losing, you're at a disadvantage. You play more passive. If you've lost a fight, you get out if you can. If you cannot, you let them kill you. This way, you don't stagger yourself. There, for
yeah,
the reason why I bring it up is because we walked into a fight where it's a 1v6. Our whole team just died right in front of us, and we're running in, right?
yeah,
So in that scenario, if we see that we've lost, probably just want to back out and then not have to die for no reason, and then that just is going to be much
yeah.
much better. So
Okay.
watch kill feed, pay attention to when you're winning and losing, and then that'll be much better off for you.
Right, got it. I will try my best to remember that. Sometimes it's a bit hard to pay attention to kill feed right in the top corner.
Yep. which we can discuss application on that at some point here as well. All right. We may go over target priority as a whole concept, but just very quickly, how easy is it going to be for you to kill Farah?
Extremely difficult.
Extremely difficult.
Unless you...
So, should we be spending much time focusing on our gameplay?
Not really, no.
Yes,
No.
maybe only if you
Thanks.
have like an opportunity to
Yeah.
kill her, you know?
Like the first one, you mean, or...
Yeah, or if you like if she's low, if she's
Yeah.
very out of position,
Oh,
that sort of
yeah.
idea and concept, right? But besides that, you don't want to probably be spending too much of your gameplay trying to go after her.
Okay.
Alright, we will go over some
So,
ability rotations as well as Doomfist. General concept though, don't try to don't use all of your abilities with no way to get away. Right? You want to be able to have a way to
right.
get away, which we'll
So
discuss how
say...
you can do that.
So I think it's
Mhm.
either shifty or right click to get away then.
You use either your slam or your right click to get away. It's pretty much
Yeah.
just you always want to use one ability to get in, your uppercut, and then one ability to get out, basically.
Right. Okay. Oh. Wait. So okay. So uppercut's always used when you go in, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
either slam or right click.
mm,
Right. Okay.
yep.
I've got a lot to work on this. That's not already.
Alrighty.
In.
So I'm gonna be streaming here if you'd like to take a look, and then we can go over a bunch of different things.
Go for it.
Alrighty. So let's start on some of those more general topics, and then we'll make our way through.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna exit out your stream because hear the play the game. All right. So firstly, let's talk crosshair placement. Is that a term you're familiar with at all?
Yeah.
Mhm. So then, are you familiar with like what the term entails and like what is crosshair placement?
It's to do with where you're aiming all times on the screen. For example, you want to have your crosshairs roughly at head height for the average
Mm,
character. A lot of the
yeah.
time you're moving around, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you pretty much have the concept. Just note then that you are not applying the concept as well as you could in some circumstances where you're walking around and you're aiming down here, right? Which just
Yeah.
means that we're going to be hitting body shots, which is not going to be nearly as effective as headshots, which on the majority of characters do basically 2 times damage.
Yeah.
And so you want to be going for the headshots and therefore making sure aiming at head level, pre-aiming at where you know people are going to be. So really within that concept, you have the head knowledge, you just want to make sure that you're looking to apply that as you're playing through.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, let's just go on some other topics here. So, when it comes to general positioning, if I'm standing here, and the enemy team's standing over there, and they're looking at me and shooting at me, it's going to take me one... Oh, I left. Whoopsie. Let's assume you don't have leap, or even if you do have leap, it's still the same. Right, 1, 2, 3 seconds get behind cover. If you have leap, maybe it's
Yeah.
like 1.5. Right. Now, from here, you cannot get shot. You're completely safe. You can't shoot through solid objects. But in that time it took me to get here, well, then they ended up actually killing me in that time, and that's not very good, right? Now, if
Yeah.
I'm standing here, then it takes me half a second to get behind cover, and I can do largely the exact same amount of stuff from here. So, therefore, good positioning is the usage of cover, and bad positioning is the absence of cover. So,
Right.
lots of different ways that we can use cover, right? You have slopes, You have pillars, right? You can shoot while you're in between shots, when you're low, when there's just a lot of people shooting at you, right? You have
Yeah.
corners, same thing. Random objects, same thing. Oh, yep, random objects. Pillar, corner, doorway, corner. High ground also all acts as natural cover. When we're
Yeah.
up here, they can see us. Now they can't. See us. Now they can't. Additionally, on top of that, most characters in the game can't reach us. 2/3 need to take the stairs. The other third that can get to us need to use abilities, so that gives us increased survivability. And then
Yeah.
additionally, we have a ton of visibility from up here, so we can see over here and here and here. But we're on a low ground. Can't see any of the high ground. Can't see over there or over there, right? So high
Yeah.
ground's good, cover's good. Now
My
thinking back
aim
to
is
first point,
true.
um, where were you positioned in a lot of those fights?
Before
In the
behold
point for a lot of them,
and
which
Yeah,
after.
is very open.
kind of smack dab in
Yeah.
the middle point. Probably
It's
not gonna be where you want to be in a lot of cases.
it's annoyingly obvious when you point it out. Is the worst bit.
Yeah, and that's a lot of this stuff, right? That's it's when you start to break down some of this stuff, it's a lot of common sense points, and that's how
Yeah.
you can look to self improve. A lot of my gameplay or I'm sorry, most of my gameplay is self improved upon. I don't know how much of my bio you read, but I actually started off in silver
Yeah.
when I initially started playing the game, and
I read through the full thing originally, so
yeah, so I mean, like in that process, I didn't get coaching until after I'd already hit my peak in the game, right? So
yeah.
you made very very big, and a lot of that is looking to see what I can do to improve, and therefore a lot of the concepts are also common sense once you start to think about the common sense behind them.
Yeah.
Um, so that's positioning, the basics. Let's see what else can we go over here. Sonic we mentioned. Alright, let's go over Doomfist stuff. Alright.
Only through
So,
conflict
when it
you will
comes to
evolve.
your abilities, right, you're going to use them in rotations. When you use all of
Yeah.
them all at the same time, that's called fully syncing your kit. So if I go slam, uppercut, punch, right, now we've just fully synced their kit in the middle of their team and have no way to get out whatsoever, right? And therefore,
Yeah.
you're basically killing yourself, right?
Right.
Now, is that to say that you can never fully sync your kit? Well, no. What's maybe a scenario where you can fully sync your kit?
I'm guessing if you're either trying to hard commit on something, if it's overtime, something like that,
Mm.
we basically have to force something, and if you don't go in, it's not going to do anything for the game.
Don't let me enter.
Yeah, possibly some of those scenarios, right? Other ones would be like if you're in a 1v1, right?
Yeah.
You can full commit to it. I like that full commit where you're saying like when you're able to full commit. You can do
Yeah.
it when you are already like heavily winning a fight, right? Or you've already
Yeah.
won the fight and there's no danger to do it.
You're just trying to clean
Um,
up farm ult
yeah,
charge at the end.
exactly. You could also do it when you have your ultimate because you can use your ultimate as a get out of jail free card. In fact, that you
Yeah.
probably want to do that when you use
Stay
your
out
ultimate,
of my way.
as that's a really good way to engage before ulting. Um,
Okay.
so there's a couple situations, but generally you don't want to do it if you're just ending up in the middle of their team with no additional way to get away with it, right?
Yeah.
So common ones, combos that you're gonna be using are slam, uppercut, shoot, shoot, punch out. Um, and then the another one is punch in, right? So we can punch, uppercut, slam out. You can also punch in, and then punch into an uppercut that would look like this, and I'll talk about attack in a moment. And then get out. That's for more extended ranges where you can't actually
Yeah.
connect with someone. Are you aware of? I can't remember if I saw it or not. Are you aware of how to do bounces at the end of your punch?
Yeah, you just press space at the end as if you jump in, it'll like
Yep.
bounce you out. You can do it off object, you can use it to turn mid-air, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you already know a lot of that stuff. That's good. Are you aware of how to do fast slams versus slow slams, or targeted slams versus non-targeted?
That I'm not aware of, no.
Mm.
Targeted, I think I
That's
do, but
it.
I'm not sure if I'm getting it
Yeah.
right. Fast versus
So
slow, I don't know how to control.
Yeah, so fast for it's the same thing. It's just the fast
Okay.
one is targeted, the slow one is untargeted.
Right.
So here, if I were to just slam, it would do a slow untargeted
Yeah.
slam, right?
Whereas when there's like box on the ground, that's when
Yeah,
it does like a fast
and
targeted one.
that's based off of being off of an object. So if you're midair, you can't do this when jumping, but if you jump off of something, then that'll actually show up to where you can slam off of it. So you can see that very
Okay.
easily if I were to come up here. Oh, whoopsie. All right, we'll set around.
Hello.
All right.
The stairs of shame.
So if you notice when I jump off, the target will actually pop up here,
Yeah.
right?
Right. So
Um,
if you don't jump and you just E down, you'll slow. Whereas if you jump first and then E, you'll get a
yeah,
fast one instead.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
very handy to know how to do because there's I'd say a good portion of the time you want to go for the fast slam because the fast engagement's gonna be better to keep you alive and get you in sooner and get the surprise
Yeah.
advantage. Though there are circumstances where slow is going to be better. For example, if you can use a slow slam like if you're coming around the corner, right? So rather than
Yeah.
very slowly charging up a punch and turning the corner, you can, if you know that somebody's like right here, you can slam around the corner and get them. You can use a slow slam if you know that they're not paying attention to you, if you're coming from a very high height to get a lot of damage in.
Yeah.
Additionally, like when you're differentiating between the two, punch or slam, you slam if there's a really big group of people, so you can get all of the value of hitting multiple people with cleave damage. You slam
Yeah.
if you're incapable of landing a punch, so if your punch is just gonna hit them in the air, not oh,
Stay down.
actually hit something there. I guess here if your punch is just gonna hit them in the air, well then you probably just would have wanted to slam them, right?
Yeah. Because you can.
Um,
I guess in slam combos, better than punches are normally a better escape option.
well,
I
not
believe.
fully necessarily. I'm stating the scenarios where you want to be
Okay.
using each, right? I would say punch is definitely going to be a really good engage option, as punch is going to be able to one tap people. It's just more limited towards you need to make sure that
Yeah.
you're able to actually have something to punch them into. You need to make sure the other thing is that you can't just sit here in the open and slowly charge up a punch. That's not going to work out for you. So you need to
Yeah.
make sure that you have a way to punch to engage, right, from either around the corner or from a high ground or from your team's protection, that sort of thing. Slam, might not want to just go for a slow slam into them, right? If that because that just might get you killed, right? So it's more so they're both better in certain instances.
Okay.
And then you're aware that your abilities give you extra health. Yep.
Yeah, they gave. I think it's 25 shield per person hit, and ult is 75.
Mm.
If I
All
remember
right.
right.
That's cool that you're aware of the numbers. I'm honestly not a great stats guy, so that's good that you know that. All right, so that's a lot of that stuff. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to discuss there in Doom. When you're using your ult, I didn't actually see you use a Doom ult, but a lot of times you do want to fully sync your kit because you're going in really hard, and then you can use your ultimate as a way to get a dual mag effect. So we full
Yeah.
engage, we go in, we use all our abilities, we ult, our abilities will charge back up while we're ulting, right?
Yeah.
And then we come out and we have all those abilities again for more engagement.
Okay.
And then I believe that's all that I'm actually remembering for the moment. So you can probably queue up for a game.
Yeah.
Do note here that you could probably do a quick play, and it would
You.
honestly it'd be pretty much the same value since we're going over a lot of fundamental stuff, and then
Yeah.
it also just get us in and out faster and whatnot to go over kind of the stuff
Okay. Yeah, I'll do
in the
that then.
range.
Yeah, if you think that's better, I'll do that, man.
One usually the comp is only necessary once you get to like higher plat.
Yeah.
Don't cross me.
I know. I used to have to hit mid to high plat at one point, but not anymore. That was only ever on tank, not DPS.
Let me know when you get into a game here.
Well, there's just sat queuing at the moment.
You can also go over target priority really quickly. So when it comes to thinking about who should you be shooting at in the game, your target priority is going to come down to who is the easiest to actually shoot at, who's the easiest to
Yeah.
kill.
It's just found game, I think.
Okay, Sounds good. So generally speaking, tanks are not going to be the easiest. They're going to be the hardest in the game to
Yeah,
kill. 2 to 3 times the health, shields, tanking abilities, etc. Really difficult. And so you
yeah,
want to pick out the easier targets to kill. That kind of, we saw maybe a decent bit of tank shooting in the last game, as well as the instances where we would try to focus the Pharah
yeah.
unnecessarily.
Right, okay. So so I really want to aim for people either you see off cooldown, that are easy to kill, or with lower health, stuff like that.
Yeah, so opportunities will play a part in this, right? So no, you can go for harder targets to kill if you have opportunities to kill them, right? So if
Yeah,
the tank is low, out of position, or they're kind of the only thing you can shoot at, well then shoot at the tanks.
yeah. Okay.
Do you have your blink unbound?
I have it bound to right click instead.
Oh, it's not displaying on the bottom right. That's weird.
Oh, I'm not sure why. I might have it bound to secondary as right click, and then I just left it
Hmm.
unbound primary, maybe.
Okay. Alright, watch your abilities. You can't really keep on going if you're out of abilities, so keep your eye on those.
Okay.
Additionally, make sure you're watching for Mercy Rez. She's the only character in the game that means that you gotta watch for dead bodies. Therefore, team
Yeah.
composition dictates play style. Pay attention to what team comps are being played in the game, so that you're able to pay attention when they have a Mercy to the dead
Yeah.
bodies. Okay, we'll go over
Right.
how you can use pulse pumps, but generally you don't want to Kobe them from a distance. You want to get up on top of people. I'll
Yeah.
demonstrate it when we go to the training range, but you basically want to blink up on top of them is the way that you're going to want to go for those.
Okay.
Alrighty.
That did not go so well.
We'll go over some playstyle stuff on Tracer, and then go over as well after we're done. We'll go over do was the other thing I had in mind. Oh, I'm blanking on what I was gonna say.
All right.
Oh, playstyle and then some off-angle positioning.
Yeah. Oh my god. I did not hit that dash.
Okay, we'll go maybe more in depth on this if we need to, but you're a lot of times jumping straight into the fray. Look to stay a little bit more towards the outskirts of the fights rather than standing directly on top of the point. We just end up jumping into a lot of damage in a lot of these fights.
Okay.
Okay, nice. We actually got close to him on that one, so it ended up working out much better.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do what you're saying as we're going along,
Mm.
but
Yep.
it's a lot to think about at once.
Mm. Oh, make sure you're
Not
using
that crazy.
your blinks, dance around her, right? That's if you're dying in a 1v1 and you have all your blinks left when you're done, then that's probably going to be a big thing there.
Yeah.
Additionally, sometimes I think we're trying to melee people when they're not actually low enough to die to it. So melee does 30 damage. So you should only really be meleeing if they're below 30 HP.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, really good aim there. Though do know once again that we're kind of coming into that fight in a lot of these fights already looking at D.Va, who's like the second hardest character on their team to kill.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch the health bar. Probably just grab like a health pack
Yeah.
real quick.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just trying to remember where they all are.
You passed two looking for him.
I'm good, sorry.
All good.
That
There's
is.
one right below the stairs here.
Oh my god. Oh.
Know that they just got a beat, so Pulse probably wouldn't have killed him anyways. So
Yeah.
watch out for that. Be aware of your surroundings, right? Watch, look, listen. Okay. If we're trying
Going
to
up there.
escape, note the escaping doesn't always mean escaping back to our spawn. It could mean going into their spawn where it's safe because they might not go into their spawn. Going back to your team there is probably the most dangerous thing you probably could have done because we're walking through the open area where all of that they are.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, how many teammates
I
did
was
you
trying
have
to
up there?
recall. Yeah, I was trying to recall back the other way. That's the second left. I had none up there. Well, I had Soldier, but he died. Let's go in.
So we were trying to engage when the fight was already lost, so we probably could have just sat over there on the side and waited for our team to walk back.
Yeah.
Oh, consider using pulse there.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go over
Yeah.
some stuff.
Thought that after. Oh god. It's really obvious when he's saying it. It's the most annoying bit.
All good. All right. So firstly, let's talk about application because you actually brought up a very important point. In that you were saying that you're trying to apply the things that we're trying to work on here, and all. Or you can watch it play. Alrighty. So you're trying to apply all the things that you were that I'm saying to work on, and you're just like, okay, it's a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how do you work on the things you're trying to work on, and essentially what you want to do is you want to pick out and focus on something you're trying to work on, right? So what that means
Yeah.
is that you're going to, let's say, we'll just pick something random here. Let's say you're trying to work on your awareness, right? You're trying to pay attention to your surroundings, and you're trying to work on that. So you think to yourself as you're, or that means that you're not going to kind of autopilot while you play. You're not going to play just to play, and you're, contrary to popular belief, not going to purely play to win, as that just ends up leading to stagnation. Whereas playing to improve
Yeah.
actually leads to improvement. Now, what that actually looks like when you play is that you're going to be thinking to yourself, awareness, 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 right? And when you do that, that's going to give yourself a constant stream of reminders to think about your surroundings. And that's really all that awareness is thinking about your surroundings, and therefore your awareness is going to be better. When you do that for a long enough period of time, that'll form it as a positive habit. Once it forms as a habit, then you can kind of move on to something else to work on because it just comes naturally now. It's not needing as
Yeah.
much attention. Now, I would recommend, on the point you made, don't try to do everything all at once because that will get overwhelming. It's not really going to work out too well if you try to do 20 things all at the same time. Instead, pick out a category of things or 1 to 3 smaller things within a category and then work on those things.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So that'll make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, definitely.
Alrighty, so Blink Pulse Bomb, right? Your blink range, I believe, is 8 meters, so you can say roughly 10 because you're trying to blink up next to the person. So this is going to be your blink pulse and blink melee range, meaning that 10 meters is pretty much your preferred distancing from people generally within the game. I guess we'll take a tangent for a moment. Preferred range is Tracer. Noticing sometimes that we're not really sticking within that. Often I'm noticing we're actually getting too close to people. Right, you're actually running up to here on people, which is not a bad thing, but there's a lot of characters in the game that do this better than you, right? So think
Yeah.
McCree, Reaper, right? Think Brig, think a lot of characters, the stuns, Reinhardt, right? A lot of those characters, they're just gonna do this better than you can. So why do this when we can do this and do pretty much the same amount of damage, right? Now you
Okay.
don't want to go too far because then once you get, you probably want to cap out at like 15 meters where you can still do a decent amount, right? You can still mow them down pretty decently. But once you get to like 20, then you're really not doing a whole lot, right? Look how much damage we
Yeah.
just did with a clip there. Alright, so 15 meters is cap, 10 meters is preference, right? So from here we can blink melee. So blink melee is a really good way to finish someone off. So if we get them down really low, we can blink in and melee to finish them off. This is especially handy if we ran out of ammo.
Yeah.
And then you can do the same exact thing with a pulse bomb, right? So blink in, right? This right here is much better. It's much harder to miss this than it is when you're trying to do this, right? And toss it in there. So
Yeah.
if you blink in, we can go for the pulse bomb. You can blink out. I went forwards. We can go out, or we can recall, either or, right? Or
Yeah.
you can even just walk backwards, and that's going to be a lot easier way to land it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that, noting like a kind of on that range point. A lot of times the fight, let's say the point is here, right? The fight's happening here. We'll just kind of jump in the middle of it. We'll kind of just like blink into here, and then
Yeah.
you're kind of in the middle of their entire team, which isn't going to be very good because once again, then there's a lot of characters that closer range than you, and then additionally, it puts you in a lot of the crossfire and whatnot. So instead, probably recommend sticking a little bit more towards the sides of the fights rather than the middle of
Yeah.
it, right? So from over here, we can do pretty much the same amount of stuff, except for now we're not in the fray.
Okay.
Now that kind of gets to another point, which is kind of the follow-up to target priority, and that is off-angling. So off-angling and flanking. If you're trying to get to the easy targets to kill, and this is their team, this is our team, if you're trying to go through here, which is the main angle, running it down main, right, you're going to have to go through every single obstacle we said you don't want to shoot at. And we did this every single fight. Every single fight without fail, we would just go blink, blink, and then be inside the middle of their team, shoot at them, and then immediately need to recall and get out, and then we'd just, and then that's what it looked like, right? It's like we're going in for 3 seconds, recalling, getting out, and we didn't really do too much, right?
Yeah.
Now, what you can do instead is take off angles, so main angle, off angle, right? Now we've just gone past their tanks and their shields and all the stuff we don't want to shoot to their backline, the easy targets to kill. And we did this very safely, right? We can get back to our
Yeah.
team instantly and very fast, right? Now, another example. Enemy team, our team, main angle, okay? Take 2 seconds, off angle, right? High grounds
Yeah.
all act as natural off angles as long as we're above them. Not so much if they're all the way over there, because they can still shield you. But if we're above them, we can get around their shields very easily. So look to take off angles. Off angles are going to be very good for you. And then additionally, flanks are another thing. Note that there's a difference between the two. A flank would be like enemy team, our team, and we went around and around and around and around. So flanks are much longer and much more dangerous in a lot of cases. Now Tracer, since she is very fast and she has much survivability, she's going to be able to do flanks a lot. Tracer's actually a flanky character, same with Soldier, but you wouldn't really want to do this on a lot of other characters, like, for example, you wouldn't really want to do this on Hanzo at all.
Yeah.
Doomfist is a little bit more in the middle. Probably not too often would you go for flanks, though.
Yeah.
Um,
I know I was doing that kind of thing when we used to play Reaper a bit, but
hmm.
I'm not sure if that's quite right or I'm supposed to be doing that or not, to be honest.
That's definitely okay to do as Reaper, but there's when it comes to Reaper, the much easier way to do that is to just teleport behind them, and then you do that instantly,
Okay.
right? So your basic combo on Reaper is okay, enemy team, my team, TP in behind them so they can't see me, right? I'm over here. I go pew 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 pew. I get pressured. I race back to my team, right? I'm waiting on
Yeah.
cooldowns. I shoot them from the front line, and then you repeat.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. Um, let's see. Right now we got 18 minutes. You can probably queue up for another game now. One more thing here. Make
Yeah.
sure that you are not swapping too frequently between targets. So this is another thing with mechanics is just and we'll come into fights and then we'll start shooting at this person and then we'll kind of randomly swap to this person and then we'll randomly swap to this person and then we'll kind of go between a bunch of different people. You should only ever be swapping between targets if, one, you found an easier target to kill, right, or a better opportunity.
Yeah.
Or the alternative is if they became a hard target to kill. So they got away, they got healed, etc., right, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you should only ever be swapping if the target priority changes, right?
Okay.
But we would kind of come into fights and then we'd get the Mercy down like that, and then we'd randomly swap to the D.Va and start shooting at the D.Va, right? So watch for that, because then that just means that we tickle everybody and nobody dies.
Okay. Right. Okay, so let's see if we can give it a go. Oh, there we go. Good timing.
Welcome to Rialto. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
All right. Let's see if I can't mess this up quite so badly. Yeah, so it's probably going to take me a few seconds, man. Apologies.
All good. Yeah, it'll probably take you a little more than a few seconds, but here we'll go over.
Not a few seconds. No, I
Yeah.
wish I'd take a few seconds. That'd be a
Yep.
dream, but nah, not happening.
Or do you really wish it would take a few seconds? Because then that takes a lot of the fun out of it, doesn't it?
I mean, true, yeah.
If you were the best in the world and nothing could stop you, right? Then it would be slightly less fun.
And you can use it to earn money then. Treat it as a job and
Oh,
do something else for fun, I guess.
true. All right. So here, if you're looking for something to work on, probably focus primarily on your positioning, I would say, for the moment. We'll go
Okay.
over, with the last 8 minutes of the session, will be the main points, a quick review, and then a wrap up.
Okay.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Okay, if your team's so far forward, you could probably go up to one of those closer high grounds just to get more engaged. But if they back
Okay.
up, then we could probably back up as well.
Back up to that. Alright.
Tossing Sonic, or just get it in there doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, D.Va's out of position there, so you can probably shoot her when she's getting that close.
Yeah. Okay.
And remember, watch for those reses. Just every time somebody dies, unless Mercy's dead or she doesn't have her res or something like that, right? You gotta watch it. That way we can not just stop her, but also get a free kill. Okay, what's going on with the fight at the moment?
Currently, they're going to push back further there.
Very nice. Request healing, watch a health bar, right? Maybe grab a health pack.
Yeah.
Okay, some audio awareness going on here. Right, took us 5 seconds to notice a Moira standing right behind us.
Yeah.
We'll maybe review audio awareness very briefly, but also make sure we're watching because I believe that she was doing some damage too as well there. All right. Target priority there, right? We're kind of McCree's standing smack dab in the middle of the open, half HP right next to you, and then we're looking and turning at the Zarya, right?
Right.
So Zarya, though not the hardest tank to kill, is still a tank, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. No, we don't. We'll maybe go over this in depth, but your range on Hanzo is more of a mid-ranged because of the inaccuracy you're gonna have at a long range. Not
Okay.
because you do less damage, but because you have fall off, or not fall off. Sorry, you don't fall off. Not because you're doing less damage, but because you're missing on accuracy. People are they're smaller targets. You don't have a zoom function, so therefore closer. You're also a projectile, right? That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Further away means harder to land.
Okay.
So mid-range is what you're looking for primarily with Hanzo, whereas Tracer that would be a close range,
Yeah.
or kind of maybe further end of a close range.
Yeah.
Uh oh, there I think you reacted decently fast though. Slightly faster reactions and watching and waiting, paying attention
Yeah.
can maybe help us stay alive there. Okay, Sonic or check before you're going for it because otherwise that's just a blind dragon there where you're not like 100% certain where they are.
Yeah.
So a very easy thing to do there is just Sonic really quickly and then you actually have visibility on them.
Okay.
Very nice. Oh, good audio awareness. Just that's definitely not one of the worst deaths we've had, but maybe slightly faster reaction times, watching the
Yeah.
flank, those sorts of things can help with it, though definitely not as big of an issue as some other deaths that we've had.
Yeah, I've had a few ones that have not been great, to put
Yeah,
it lightly.
very nice. Okay. Watch the current crosshair placement. We're aiming very low, right? Make sure aiming ahead level. Noticing as well maybe a pattern of like we're kind of starting low and then aiming up and then starting low and then aiming up, right? Oh, awareness. But yeah, starting low, aiming up, starting low, aiming up. That's just gonna be kind of unnecessary and just make some of your shots harder.
Right, so try and aim higher in general,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Just you want to
Okay.
just keep it on head level. Never gonna be perfect, but definitely could be better currently.
Yeah. It's just kind of instinct to like keep them a weapon off the screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally shoot yourself.
It's more like blocking vision kind of thing, if that makes
Mm.
sense. Or
Yeah, well, do you know that oftentimes people aren't at your feet, so you'll most of the time you'll be
yeah.
good.
Again, it makes sense when you say it. It's just like
All right, good game, very good mechanics. All right, I am streaming, and then we'll hop into the wrap-up review. Was I don't was there anything I said we were gonna go over there? Maybe like I said, range. Yeah, let's just really quickly just Hanzo's range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hanzo, though he is capable of doing the snipey snipe, doesn't mean that he wants to sit there the whole game. His preferred range is probably going to be more like a, let's see, preferred range maybe starting off at like 30 to 15, like 15 to 30. That's mid-range roughly.
Okay.
And that's your preference range. You can go closer, you can go further, but that's your preference. Now, Tracer, that's a little bit more of a hard preference, right? It's a little bit harder of a
Yeah.
preference because Tracer, you can do absolutely nothing if you're sitting back here,
We'll
right?
do like 5 damage maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit more of a hard preference on Tracer, but Hanzo, it's still a preference where you want to, if at all possible, put yourself in that preference range. That way you're actually able to accomplish stuff.
Yeah.
Double kill.
Trying to think. I think that's mainly it. So let's do, quick review, wrap up, and whatnot. Um, ability. Oh, we went over a lot of different characters. So ability switch on Hanzo, Sonic off a cooldown. Besides that, you're all good. So overall on Hanzo, not ability usage, low priority for you to work on.
Yeah.
Doomfist.
Only
Ability
through
rotations, don't
conflict
fully
will
sync
we
your kit,
evolve.
right? Combo your abilities,
Challenge.
punch in, uppercut, slam out, slam in, uppercut, punch out. Punch
Yeah.
in and with a bounce if you're at ranges from people. Always look to have a way to disengage unless those other circumstances are involved. Right, it's gonna be very situational. Remember, just it's better. Whichever combo is gonna be dependent on the situation.
I
Yeah.
can read your every
And
move.
then overall, that was probably more of like a on Doomfist. Probably gonna be like a
Double
maybe
kill.
lower end of a medium high priority for you to work on. So very much different
Yeah.
between Doomfist and Hanzo. Um, let's see what else we got here. You have your what other characters did we go over?
Honestly,
Tracer. Tracer, we didn't discuss. There's definitely, I think, things to go over with her ability usage, but I don't think we really discussed it a ton. I think there were more pressing things. Oh, we didn't.
yeah.
Snap, man. We never went over kind of playstyle. Very briefly, playstyle and Tracer plays an opportunist. Look for opportunities. Don't just go, 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 go. Play a little bit more passive where you're at your kind of more of your preference range. You're kind of poking from this, right? And then you're waiting for someone to be low, someone out of position. You have pulse bomb. You got someone low, etc. And then you're
Yeah.
engaging and getting more aggressive. So you look to play more of that play style. But
Okay.
abilities, low priority. Or sorry, low to medium. We just didn't discuss it very much. And
Yeah.
then, was that it? Did we discuss anyone else? I think it's just
I
those three, right?
think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then moving on, let's see, Tracer, Pulse Bomb. Pulse Bomb, just make sure you're getting within range. Blink Pulse, that's going to be a very easy way to do that. Getting close to people, and then that's about it with Tracer. Maybe like
Yeah.
a lower end of a medium for that. Doomfist, I
Yeah.
didn't see any of your ultimates.
Only through
Just fully sync your
conflict you
fully
will
syncing your kit
evolve.
before you go for it. Get in, get aggro.
Yeah.
Hanzo, Sonic before you dragon. Do it from behind a wall. That way they can't shoot at you. And then besides that, most of them looked good.
Triple kill.
Overall, on Hanzo's maybe more like a low to medium, lower end of that. Okay. Then you have mechanics. Make sure you're keeping crosshair placement, aim ahead level, aim where you know people are going to be, keep it there. Target priority, aim at the easiest targets to kill, generally not going to be their tanks. If you're on Doom, it's not going to be their Pharah. Don't try to stare at them the whole game. Look at the easy targets to kill, both one in if you have equal opportunities. So tank, support, right? Probably shoot at the support, not the tank. But
Yeah.
if there's a tank blocking the support, then you have off angling and whatnot and flanking to get around it. And that's actively
Okay.
seeking them out. Besides that, don't randomly swap between targets for no reason. Right, you swap if target priority changes, and then that's why you swap.
I need healing.
Trying to think, was there anything else? I think general mechanics was very excellent. Not a lot. Or general just aim, very good. And then besides that, I think that's about it. Overall, that was a Higher end of a medium, priority for you to work on. Positioning, use cover. Good positioning is the usage of cover. Don't stand smack dab in the middle of point. Don't stand in the middle of their team, right? Don't jump into the fray. Stay towards the outskirts on Tracer, right? Off angle and flank to get around and get to the better targets, right? And then also take high grounds. High grounds are fantastic. And then that's generally it. Watch your respective ranges. Hanzo mid-range, 15 to 30 meters. Tracer close range, 10 to 15 rough, or 10 preference, 15 cap.
Yeah.
And then that's about it on those characters. Overall positioning goes to probably like a medium high.
Yeah.
And then finally you have awareness. Pay attention to your surroundings. Watch the health bar. Request healing when you're low. Watch kill feed, right? When pay attention to it actively. 1 to 2. Pay attention to the numbers because often people forget the numbers when we do follow-ups. 1 to 2 is an advantage or disadvantage, in which case you play more aggro or passive. 2 to 3 is a won or lost fight, in which case you play extra aggro, or you get out if you can, or you don't, or you just let them kill you if you can't get out. Don't walk back in to a lost fight. Like, don't walk into a fight if you just don't have any teammates, which we did a couple times. And then don't stay in a fight if you don't have any teammates, right? Look to do something.
Okay.
And then additionally, pay attention to tab, right? Press tab at a very minimum between every single fight of the game. This gives you a lot of info. Team comp dictates playstyle, right? Watch for the mercy, reses, and whatnot. There's a lot more that goes into that, but that's the basics. Pay attention to, like, what ults does your team have? And yeah, that's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pay attention to just your general surroundings. Where's my team? Where's the enemy team? And then also pay attention to your audio awareness. Really quickly, audio awareness. Go to your sound settings. Make sure your volume is loud enough. That's going to be dependent on your own custom like headset volumes and whatnot. Music volume, turn off or down. That can clutter with your audio. And then, important one, make sure you have surround sound enabled on your headset. If it is not an option, come to the in-game settings here and turn on Dolby Atmos for headphones. Now, all those can be really bad, or all those can be bad, or sorry, all those can be good, and you can still have bad audio awareness if you're not actually paying attention and listening for footsteps and gunshots and abilities and ultimates, right? Overall, awareness probably went to like a lower end of medium high, maybe higher end of medium. So to put that all in order, all of the ability usage and ult usages differed per character, but generally, probably say number 1 was the positioning, 2 was awareness, 3 was mechanics. Doomfist ability usage definitely went much higher though on the list, right? Doomfist ability usage probably came in like number 2 or so. Tracer, not a big deal. Pulse bomb, those bottom ones are kind of more hero dependent. Any questions?
Not that you've not covered, to be honest.
All
You're
right.
very good at going through covering everything, pretty much, when you're talking, so it's quite handy, actually.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that it was able to go well. That my voice didn't trouble the session too much there.
Nah, not at all, man.
Alrighty, so then